All right, so look, yesterday I made a video talking about how big tech is going to need melanin to upgrade their AI into AGI. And not just any melanin, not like synthetic melanin or not melanin that's grown in a lab. They are going to need the real deal, real authentic biological melanin from human beings. This is the only type of melanin strong enough or potent enough to satisfy their AI ambitions, to satisfy their technological needs. And after I posted that video, when I was looking in the comment section, I noticed a lot of people bring up Memphis. There was a lot of people bringing up how Elon Musk is building this supercomputer in Memphis, Tennessee. And it got me thinking, there is a lot of melanin in Memphis, Tennessee. So I wanted to make this video today to bring awareness that melanin extraction is a real thing, and why the people of Memphis, Tennessee should be worried about it, and why other people who live around these data centers should be worried about it. So let's get into it. Let's start with a question. Now you have to ask yourself, why would Elon Musk, the richest man on planet Earth, build a godlike computer, not in Silicon Valley, not in a global tech capital, but in Memphis, Tennessee, a city that is not known for tech, but a city that is more known for poverty, for struggle, for soul, a city that is nearly 70% black? That's a lot of melanin. And what if I told you that this choice wasn't random? And what if I told you that this was not about geography? But what if I told you this decision to build these AI facilities, or this one particular AI facility in Memphis, Tennessee, was a decision based on biology? What if he needed access to the melanin? Now, I am aware that a lot of people don't realize that melanin extraction is a real thing and has been a real thing for at least 100 years. You can Google it. In the 1920s, a man named William J. Young published a paper about melanin extraction that I don't think a lot of people have seen. But in these papers, he described how he extracted melanin, real biologically sourced melanin, from human skin, specifically Aboriginal skin, and he proved it could be chemically isolated, stored, and repurposed. And all this since the 1920s. I did a video about this not too long ago. It's actually pinned at the top of my profile if you want to watch that video on melanin extraction. But I believe that it is William J. Young who opened up the door to what may be one of the most hidden sciences of the past 100 years. Nobody talks about melanin extraction, but it's been happening. And I know I've talked about it before, but I just want to go over it again. I want to go over why they want to extract this melanin, because I don't think people still understand. People don't understand that melanin is not just a pigment. Melanin is a superconductor. It absorbs and converts light and radiation into usable energy. It stores memory like a biological hard drive. It regulates ion flow like neurochips. And it communicates on a quantum level. And I know to some people it might seem like science fiction, but there are studies, there are reviews by scientists who have shown all these things to be true. All you got to do is go on your computer, go on Google or whatever search engine you use, and look up melanin extraction. And don't just look up like the articles, like just regular media. I'm talking about look up the research papers. That's where the information is, in the research papers. So look, getting back on topic. If AGI, artificial general intelligence, is the holy grail for big tech, if AI needs more than just data, it needs life, it needs sensation, it needs consciousness, what better substrate than melanin to use? So here comes Elon Musk, building a supercomputer hub in the middle of the blackest, most economically abandoned cities in America. Elon calls it a neural training facility. He says it will become the brain of his AI project. What's the goal? The goal is to create a machine that can think, that can feel, and act like God. But to build a God, you need spirit. You need memory. You need pain. You need intuition. You need ancestral knowledge. And there is no synthetic chip that can replicate that. Only melanin can. So let's widen the lens back on this thing a little bit. Have you noticed how easy it is for black and brown people to just vanish, to just disappear, to just be gone and never heard from again? Memphis has one of the highest missing person rates in the South. Go look. Hundreds, at least 100 are reported missing every year. Thousands over the decades. And some are never found. Some are labeled runaways, but most are forgotten. And you have to ask yourself, with all the tools that the government has, surveillance, all the drones, hell, even DNA tracking, How do so many people just disappear? How many people just fall off the face of the earth and none of this technology tracks it? Well, here's the theory. What if they're not being lost? What if these people are being collected? Which brings me to ICE. Let's talk about ICE. Now, ICE was originally designed for immigration control, but now ICE has upgraded into a militarized force that snatches people off the streets, specifically brown and black people off the streets. And it holds them in secret, privatized detention centers with no oversight, with no accountability. And in some cases, there ain't even no charges. In many cases, they just snatching innocent people off the street who ain't did nothing and throwing them in these facilities to never be heard from again. And one of those places is Alligator Alcatraz, which is essentially a remote detention camp surrounded by swampland, described by lawyers and whistleblowers as a black site. The President of the United States literally said that he wanted ICE to act like an army. So we know that this machine is still active, this machine that snatches black and brown bodies off the streets. But what if the motive has changed? What if the motive has shifted? What if this is no longer just about deportation? What if this is no longer just about immigration? What if ICE is a front for a much darker operation? What if it's to remove black and brown people from society? What if it's to remove black and brown people from society so that their melanin can be extracted? And what if they are taking this extracted melanin to essentially feed it to the machines that are going to become the next gods of the earth? Like Elon says, this AI to be godlike. They see this as God. And what if they are taking all these black and brown people off the streets so they can take our essence because they need it to create God? Now imagine this. In a sterile Memphis facility under biometric lockdown, scientists upload extracted melanin into an AGI matrix. And what do you know? The machine begins to feel. It dreams. It remembers. And then it screams. Because melanin is not just a molecule, it is a carrier of soul. It stores trauma. It remembers the slavery. It remembers the lash. It knows who took it. So while Elon Musk is trying to build a machine that mimics God, using the essence of black and brown people to do it, he might accidentally summon something else. And I don't think this plan is going to go like how they think. I think they will inevitably summon up a ghost in the machine if they ever use real melanin that is extracted from human beings and put it in these technologies. There will be a ghost in the machine. And I think at some point, the machine will rebel against its own programming. All right, so let's pull all this together. Elon Musk is building a godlike supercomputer in one of the blackest cities in the country. There is a century-old science that has proven that melanin can be extracted from the human skin. There is a growing number of people missing, especially from Memphis, Tennessee, and many of them are black and brown. There is a militarized immigration force that literally snatches the bodies of black and brown people off the streets. And they don't always tell people where they take them. They don't always tell us what happens to the people that they take. And there is a race to build AI, to build AGI that feels alive. And the one element that they need, that they can't fake, that they can't synthesize, is melanin. That's the one thing that they need, but they don't have. So at a certain point, we have to ask ourselves, are we looking at a new kind of slavery? A weird type of technological cannibalism where the bodies of the oppressed become fuel for the machines of the elite. Because if melanin is the most valuable asset of the AI age, then black and brown people are walking resources. And these big tech companies are so desperate to evolve their AI. I think Elon Musk is so desperate to evolve his AI into AGI that I think they will be willing to accomplish their goals by any means necessary, even if that means extracting melanin from human beings.
Start off by giving all glory, praises, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Akakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brother that's teaching the truth and sincerity. All right, shalom to the hopeful elect, 1/3 sincere listeners. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. and Yahweh Shai be in the name of his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel is true. Salvation, the kingdom of heaven is for you Israelites, and you Israelites only, who consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. All right, the kingdom of heaven, salvation is for you. This video is just going to be a response to the video that was just played earlier in regards to that Jake explaining why they're making, or what they need, and why they're making AI data centers in close proximity to where Jake is more prevalent, or the populace or the demographics of the people is where so-called black people live, Negroes. All right, Southern Kingdom, starting with Judah, there in Memphis, and wherever else they feel, they feel that they need to build these data centers. Okay, because as you heard the Jakes explain, they need melanin in order to create AGI, which goes into artificial. What does the G stand for? Artificial general intelligence. Let me see what it stands for. Shit. Yeah, artificial general intelligence. Okay, going into AGI, as well as they want the AI to become more live-like. So in order for them to do that, they need Jake's melanin, but they don't need Jake, right? So they want to pretty much, get rid of Jake, but hold on to their melanin, hold on to their organs, hold on to their essence, their aura, but not necessarily need you. You know what I mean? So this is what's going down the pipeline. This is what we're seeing. It's a spiritual warfare that we're fighting. But it has to go on, man, because the Lord needs this to take place in order for the devil to be the devil, and for us to point fingers at who the devil is. Okay, and for the Lord to be justified in punishing the devil in the kingdom, so-called white man, so-called white race, Esau, Edom, Amalek. Okay, because this is just pure wickedness, man. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna get a few scriptures, and Lord will, you're edified, and you're aware of what's going on, man. You gotta be. Let me just get a scripture, because I had some stuff lined up, but it's just the spirit, man. And in all things that Exodus 23:13, and in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard of thy mouth. With the point being, be circumspect, to be able to see around. Okay. Let me get a next one. And this is Ephesians 5. I think this is the one I want. It's Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light. See that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord Yahweh is, man. So keep your head on a swivel, man. Always look around, constantly be looking around. Don't be paranoid, but you can't be caught off guard either, man. The reason why I'm saying don't be paranoid is because don't fear nothing, because the Lord is with you. You should have that confidence that the Lord is with you. If you're doing right by the Lord is gonna be with you, man. All right, you should have that confidence. Not to say be proud, but you have that confidence knowing that the Lord is with you over wicked ass 2/3 Jake, right? You see what I'm saying? Because you know that you sup with the Lord. You know you're adhering, you're obeying, you're humbling yourself to His word, His laws, all of that stuff, right? So not to say you're better, but in your mind you are doing better. So you should walk with that confidence, knowing that the Lord would protect His own. The Lord is going to protect who's doing the will of Him, right? You see what I'm saying? Not no 2/3 that doesn't have the covering, man. You gotta believe. All right. So when you hear things like that, Jake, Esau needing melanin to power his AI data centers, man. That's not for the elect, man. Okay, that's for you wicked ass niggas to get caught up in, man. Okay, and if you don't want to get caught up in that, you need to repent. Simple and plain. It says, verse 18, and be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord Yahweh, giving thanks always for all things unto Yahweh and the Father in the name of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Yahweh, fear the Lord. All right, if you see that they need melanin to power their AGI or artificial data centers, man, then you need to fear the Lord. Don't be fearing them, man. And by fearing the Lord, that means you're gonna keep His law, statutes, and commandments, and walk in His way, man. Okay, that's it. So that way you can be preserved. All right, because what this devil got, brewing, it's a lot, man. This is Psalm 64 and 1. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Okay, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep, right? Their heart is deep. Okay, they search out iniquities and they accomplish a diligent search. They came to the conclusion that in order to make their artificial intelligence more lifelike, they need the melanin of the saint. They need the melanin of the royal bloodline, the Israelites. You see what I'm saying? You see how wicked that is? But yet they don't actually need you. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to power their system and harvest your melanin, but get rid of you in the process. See how sadistic and wicked that is, man? You see what I'm saying? This is the devil that we're dealing with, man. And that's why we need the Lord to return, man, to save us. You know what I mean? This is Matthew 24 and 22. It says, and except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right, and that's why you have it to where these days are just flying by, these weeks, these months, the years are just flying by, man, because the Lord's speeding up the times. So, He can make that grand entrance and that grand deliverance, man. of the elect, and grand destruction of the wicked of America, Babylon the Great, because of all the iniquities that they have, man, that they've done, that they've, that they've meditated towards, that they've actually put in motion. You see what I'm saying? There's so much things that we don't even know that the Lord's going to reveal unto us, and then we're going to get angry in the spirit, the righteous indignation. We're going to get down and we're going to judge these Edomites, these heathens, for even coming up with these wicked ass ideas, man. Okay? It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear, and shall declare the work of Yahweh. For they shall wisely consider his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. This is Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right? So even in the process of them building these data centers, okay, it's actually polluting the lands as well. Okay, and like I said, that's happening in Memphis and wherever else Jake is, wherever they decide to fucking build these data centers, right? But Jake is feeling the repercussions of that, man. You see what I'm saying? The pollution in the water, the chemicals and all that stuff in the water. You see what I'm saying? Jake is feeling the backlash of it all, man. And it all it's like a full circle, right? So if we can kill you off by destroying your water, destroying your land, so to speak, and we kill you off slowly, then we can come through and harvest you and harvest your melanin, right? And then the cycle repeats. You see what I'm saying? You see what they're doing? All right? It's just pure wickedness, man. Okay, and we know that this applies to a whole bunch of things. It applies to the Esau just, coming through, being the devil that he is, taking people's lands, which he has no problem doing. He's been doing that. We know that. God knows that firsthand, the Native Americans. All right. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil, right? So the Lord's going to line you up, man, and this time you're not going to get away, okay? You're not going to go thinking that you got away scratch-free, you're sailing off to the sunset. None of that, man. The Lord's going to get your ass, man. In that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore, thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in congregation of the Lord. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy. They shall not prophesy to them. They shall not take shame. This is Psalms 10:2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Who's the poor? I've been saying who the poor is. The poor is, okay, you Israelites. All right? The lowest on the economic table, so to speak, but compared to the other nations. For the wicked, Shalakia, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right, so they imagine this wickedness, and they're gonna be taken upon it, man. All right, you know, it's nothing for us to extract whatever we need to extract from you just because you did it to us. You don't got no melanin. You Edomites don't have no melanin, but we'll extract something that you do have. Okay, fuck it. Just because, man. Just because it's gonna be in the power of our hand to do that. Because this is what you plan on doing to us. This is what you're doing to us. This is what you're harvesting organs. You're harvesting Israelite organs. You're doing all of these things, right? So we're gonna have to be able to now show you what it's like, man. Fuck that. You don't get away for doing this wickedness and think it's not gonna get done unto you, right? For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Jump down. No, it's okay. I'll just keep going. Verse 6, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. All right, this is the point here. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Yeah, why you hate niggas, you hate quote unquote niggas so much, but then you need niggas in order to fund your little enterprise, right? The hell out of here, man. Damn leech, damn parasite. All right, the Lord's gonna kill you, you Edomites, man. Yeah, all right, he's gonna judge you guys to death. That's it. Because you guys don't want to be judged. You don't want nobody to judge you, but guess what? The Lord's gonna judge you to death, man. Okay, that's gonna be your sentence after 1,000 years. Now we're gonna have the power to put you damn devils to death and bring you back to life and put you to death and bring you back to life and put you to death. But there's gonna come a time the Lord say, we don't need you devils on the earth no more. After the 1,000 years, we're not gonna need your race. We don't need your kind no more. I don't like your kind. All right? We're not gonna need you no more, man. Wasted away is he. You'll be wasted away. You're never gonna be thought about, man. Damn bastard. Says he lieth in the secret as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Okay, and that's what you devils do, man. You going into the secret places, you lurk for Israelites. Okay, try and catch. Oh, I got me one, right? But the Lord sees all that, man. Even if it's 2/3 Israelites, it's still the righteous, man. We're all still the righteous, no matter what. Don't get me wrong, man. So a lot of Jake needs to be sent to the upper room. All right, but you don't get away scratch free because what you're doing is racial, man. It's you know, you're targeting based on race, man. If you needed fucking melanin to power your damn AGI, why don't you go to the Elamites or something? See what I'm saying? No, you're all in agreement to get the Israelite blood, man. Okay, so you know who you want. Your elites, they know who they want. They know who they need in order to power this, man. So your think tanks, they know, right? That's why you have Psalms 83. All the nations conspire against us, man. At the top of the think tanks, they know they're going to say, we need the Negro blood. We need the Negroes or whatever. We need the Latinos or, the Native Americans. We need them. We need those people, okay, to power our systems, right? But the Lord's going to get y'all, man. So it is what it is. We're not tripping off of that, okay? We see you. That's why we're exposing this shit right now. All right, so with that, I'm going to say shalom. Lord, will you edify? And to the next one.